Being that he was the previous pound-for-pound king before you, does he get a little more attention than other great fighters from you when it came to studying him on the way up? Or
Of course.
what'd you take from him?
He was my era.
What happens when one of boxing's calmest champions finally loses patience? That's exactly what fans saw when Terence Crawford responded publicly to Manny Pacquiao after weeks of fight talk and bold claim. Pacquiao, the legendary 8-division champion, returned to boxing at 46 and immediately brought attention back to himself after facing Mario Barrio. But when Manny started mentioning Crawford as a possible opponent, Bud reportedly felt the narratives surrounding the situation were unrealistic and misleading. Now the boxing world is divided as the tension between both fighters continues becoming more personal and intense.
Have you got any thoughts on that fight with Mario Barrios, and is there any chance we see you still in there at 46?
Nah, at 46, I don't plan on being back in the ring, but Mario Barrios is a great matchup for Manny Pacquiao. And I think, at this age, it's a 50-50 fight for Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao began openly targeting Crawford in interviews and public appearances. This was the same Terence Crawford who had recently moved up 2 divisions to defeat Canelo Alvarez and strengthen his reputation as one of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters. Manny repeatedly insisted he wanted the matchup and made it clear that Crawford was the opponent he hoped to face next.
What would you do to beat Terence Crawford that no one has been able to do yet?
Just counter the speed and hard punches and strong punches and moving around like side by side and throwing a lot of punches.
Fans were excited by the idea of Pacquiao facing a modern boxing superstar, but the situation changed once Manny added specific demands. He wanted the fight at 140 pounds against Crawford, even though Bud had just defeated Canelo at 168 and hadn't competed at 140 in many years.
If you were to fight, let's say Terence Crawford, what weight would you want to fight at?
147.
147 still?
Yeah.
All right, well, I think he might be watching this. This is going to make a little bit of news. Why don't you go ahead and challenge him right now?
Because my natural weight is 140. So, I'm just moving up to 147. So, not to getting hard to reduce.
He says he wants to fight Canelo maybe at 168 pounds. Do you imagine him beating Canelo at that weight?
I don't know. I can't imagine. Let's wait.
That was the point where the situation changed completely. Crawford, usually known for respecting boxing legends, finally reacted after hearing Pacquiao's conditions. Bud reportedly felt the demands were unrealistic and essentially told Manny to start being serious about the matchup.
Manny Pacquiao claimed that you were afraid to fight him. You want to clear that up?
Listen, we've been calling for that fight since 2015. Everybody know Bob Arum wanted to make the fight. Pacquiao and Freddie Roach, they didn't want them to fight. They wanted $20 million, which basically they outpriced themselves.
And what would you get?
I don't know.
From Crawford's perspective, Pacquiao is attempting to control negotiations from a position he no longer holds. Manny is no longer the dominant pay-per-view attraction or the unbeatable superstar he once was. Meanwhile, Crawford believes he now sits at the top of boxing as the sport's leading name. For Crawford, the situation stopped being entertaining once Pacquiao began demanding weight limits while acting as if he still controlled the sport. Bud reportedly took it as disrespect, feeling Manny was ignoring how much boxing has changed over the years.
When you look at my career and you look at his career, he had the support since he's been an amateur. So he had money behind him since he was 15 years old. So he already had people to believe in him and put the money behind him and get him, in the best camps, put him in the best situations. All he had to do was focus on boxing. I never had that. He had the support before he even was Canelo Alvarez.
Bud's frustration didn't start recently. Back in 2015, a fight with Pacquiao was being discussed, but talks kept slowing down. Crawford still believes Manny's team avoided the matchup because of the stylistic danger he presented at the time.
You wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. I think you were like 27, 28 when you wanted to fight Pac. Why didn't that fight happen?
I hear so many excuses like they didn't want it, but
Freddie Roach on the record saying he didn't want Pacquiao to fight. I just think Top Rank wanted to protect Pacquiao because of the money issue.
The twist is Pacquiao now wants Crawford despite being older, slower, lighter, and past his prime. Bud sees it as disrespectful, as if Manny waited until the risk faded. But Crawford believes the danger remains and he is more dangerous than ever.
My advice to him is as he's moving up to his upcoming fight, make sure that he focus on speed, he focus on how to improve his strength and while maintaining the speed.
Crawford has long been frustrated by claims he doesn't sell fights. He says Pacquiao's team started it years ago, and fans and promoters kept repeating the narrative over time.
It feels great for one reason. A lot of people for years always ran with this narrative that I fight nobodies, I can't sell, I don't have personality, I'm this, I'm that, all these negative things. And look at all this, to see me fight Canelo. What can they say now?
But later, Crawford proved everyone wrong by delivering a massive selling fight against Errol Spence, and then headlining a huge event against Canelo, one of boxing's biggest attractions.
How hard did he hit? How hard did he hit?
He didn't hit as hard as I thought he was. You know, he's definitely technical, but, you know, I've been hit harder.
Then networks competed to sign him, so when Pacquiao revived that claim, Bud completely rejected it without hesitation. At this point, the numbers speak for themselves. Crawford is a proven superstar who sells fights, headlines major cards, and boosts every opponent's profile. He sees Pacquiao's old narrative as outdated and refuses to engage with it. Things escalated when, in an interview about Pacquiao's legacy and top 5 status, Crawford shocked fans by implying Manny's prime came before stricter testing rules, noting his performances appeared different once advanced testing became mandatory.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's part.
He never directly accused him, but the message behind his words was obvious. Something didn't seem right, and it immediately stirred controversy. And Crawford wasn't the only one noticing it. Other fighters and boxing insiders had started raising the same concerns as well.
I don't got Manny Pacquiao top 5.
You
the
don't?
reason why he's not up there.
But
you
why?
should know that reason.
It's your interview.
Man, Manny's a generational talented fighter. Like, he's accomplished what no other fighter is ever going to accomplish.
Yeah.
Again, you know, but I don't feel like, you know, he did it on his own. That's me personally, because for the simple fact, when Floyd made it a point for him to do the blood test, he didn't want to do the blood test. But then when he did do the blood test, he haven't got a knockout since.
Manny Pacquiao previously faced steroid accusations from Mayweather, analysts, and fans, even filing lawsuits. So when Crawford hinted similarly, the implication became deeply personal.
Well, the big one was Manny. Manny was the one that everybody was always accusing. And Manny was the first. I mean, Manny went up 8 weight classes.
Yeah.
And kept his knockout power.
He's fighting as a little boy and then just was like...
Crazy. I mean, and kept the knockout power.
True.
And most people thought that Manny was on PEDs.
Correct.
And then they thought that Manny got off PEDs when he fought Juan Manuel Marquez and he got starched.
But there's a two-sided story there. He got off PEDs and he also found Jesus Christ. So he stopped going to strip clubs, he stopped hanging out with girls, but he stopped having fun. And then got serious about Jesus and got knocked the fuck out.
The comments ignited fans instantly. Some praised Bud's honesty, others criticized him harshly, but everyone agreed Crawford was no longer staying silent anymore.
You were.
Yeah, there is stuff.
You were.
See,
you were.
You
Hold talking to. Let Aaron.
You were.
Because you keep talking like
you
doing all that talking.
That's how
you doing all that
talking. You catch me, gotta come back. I come back.
He don't talk, and you talking too much.
This
you want some attention?
Some eye contact right here. This is gonna be legendary. Right here.
Female ass.
See y'all tune in. This is a legendary old school fight.
Get out. Some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female.
Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah.
Crawford is beyond disrespect now. After defeating Canelo, he reached another level entirely, forcing critics and doubters across boxing to finally stay quiet.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence Bud Crawford.
Fans expected Canelo's size and pressure to overwhelm Crawford, but instead, the smaller fighter outclassed a generational champion and delivered a historic performance.
Terence Crawford had the ability to fight backwards and stay composed, good defense, hands was always up, countering everything that Canelo was throwing at him. He was just a little more active fight. Canelo did hit him to the body, but it was pretty much all Terence Crawford.
I think some of what we saw from Canelo is what he's has to resort to now to fight. Maybe he's dealt with some injuries to where he's not as mobile. It's just the pattern that he's put himself in for the last, 6 to 8 fights. That same pattern is why Bivol was able to get him.
He did not allow Canelo to get inside, man. As soon as Canelo would get into that certain range, he would jab him. We didn't see any like lateral moves where he would throw, push off to the side as we used to see Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo was almost smothering his shot because he couldn't stay at range with him. And Terence Crawford runs off counter combinations. It would be a wider margin if they fought.
That victory elevated Crawford beyond Pacquiao comparison. Fans began placing him alongside Floyd Mayweather, the legend who defeated Manny and dominated boxing's biggest era.
Everyone is going to start making comparisons with your legacy to Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah, we ain't going up that much.
Now,
Canelo, who fought both Mayweather and Crawford in their primes, claimed Crawford was better than Floyd. Coming from a fighter like Canelo, that statement carries serious weight.
If you can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
14-20. That's why the idea of Crawford meeting Pacquiao today no longer makes sense. Bud has already built a legendary career that stands on its own. He doesn't need validation, another rivalry, or even another fight to secure his greatness. Even if he retired tomorrow, his legacy would remain iconic and untouchable. Thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share your thoughts below. We'll see you next time.